You're a teenager, speaking of social media, that's never been on social media.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're missing out at all? Do you feel like you've dodged a bullet? I want you to kind of go through that, because although like you don't think of yourself, well, maybe you do, of being like really special for that, it's very rare. It's extraordinarily rare. You not being on social media ever as a 17, almost 18-year-old is a very unique perspective. And I talk to you about it a lot, because I think so many of the people around me, they lack original ideas. They find so many of their ideas just scrolling through Instagram Reels, and they don't even know that they're not their ideas, because they become so out of touch in this weird state of mind. Kind of like art brings you to a peaceful state of mind, it brings them to this state of mind of consumption and wanting more, and dopamine hits. And being someone unaffected by that, I think the originality of your ideas is very attractive to people around you, because your ideas aren't saturated and aren't taken from external sources. You have a lot of, like, you're very intuitive in your ideas.
Well, I want to start by saying I'm not necessarily a social media hater in every aspect. I think it has great uses. For example, creators like Jack trying to build a positive following and trying to do something good for the world, or just businesses in general. It's a great way to get ideas and goods out there. But there's a lot of negative things, like you're saying, this saturation of ideas, this constant reminder of the top 0.001% of the world that everyone's trying to strive to be. It's just constantly in your face, boom, boom, boom. You're scrolling, it's just over and over. And it's just ruining the attention span of the generation as well. So, I don't know. It all started as just my parents restricting, because they're big social media haters. So they're just like, no, you're not allowed to have it till you're, I think they said 15 or 16 or something. So a couple years ago at this point, when I could have actually gotten it. But at that point, I'd witnessed the effects of it. I'd witnessed some of my best friends who I used to know before they had it be such lively people. Now they're consumed by their phones and consumed by this social media. I see them spend so much time on it, taking away from the greater things of life. And it was just kind of a no-brainer at that point, where I have no specific need for it. Like, if I am owning my own business in the future, maybe I would hop on some of these platforms and help promote my business. But it's that fine line where I know you've said this a lot of times before, where you're talking about how it's you versus billion-dollar companies whose single goal is to get you on their app.
Right. They want to keep you there for as long as possible. It's an unwinnable battle.
So even if you dive the slightest bit into that, they're going to hook you. And they're going to keep you going and going. And I think it should be talked about more, how much of an addiction it is. How much of a drug it is.
It's a drug. They call them, people on social media are consumers.
Yeah.
What other things are people called consumers of?
Any product.
Alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And I think the first step, what you just said, is recognizing that it is an addiction.
There should be more awareness about it.
How many people do we know mutually that are extremely addicted to social media, but refuse to recognize it as an addiction?
So many. It's like, you'll talk to them about it, you'll be like, sometimes I'll be at a gathering with my friends, right? And I'll just be like, yo, why are you on your phone right now? Like, we're together as friends. And they'll be like, dude, I was just checking this one thing. And I would like to say more often than I actually do, like, you're addicted to your phone. Like, I want to tell these people just straight up, you're addicted to your phone. You need to think about this and think about how much it's actually taking control of your life and how much it's limiting you from the goals that you actually want to achieve.
Yeah.
I think that's another big thing when we were talking about that psych of life and energy. I think social media really brings that down.
Yeah.
Because it's so consuming, like we're saying.
Right, it consumes your energy.
Yeah, it really does. And then you're like a zombie.
Yeah. Another thing that I think, and I'm not sure if this is just your nature, like who you are, or if it's a product of you not being on social media.
Yeah.
You're a very content person. So you With anyone, I strive to have your level of contentment in life right now. I'm a very forward thinker, and I'm always wanting to strive for more.
Yeah.
You know that. It's like Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman.
Dude, classic. Shout out.
Best movie. But you're always so like happy right now.
Yeah.
And obviously not always, right? Like there's always moments, but do you think that's more of just who you are as a person, or do you think part of it is you're not constantly seeing the top 0.01% of people on social media that you want to strive to become?
I think those are probably the two biggest aspects that go into it. They're definitely big factors. It's partly the lack of that constant shoving down your throat, the top, whatever we're calling it, percent. But it's also just who I am as a person. I really like to be content where I am right now, because if I am, then what I'm doing at this moment is going to go better, and in turn the future is going to be better for me, and my goals are going to be completed naturally because I'm so focused on what I'm doing right now. The future will line up as it is. I'm a big believer in fate. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, what's meant for you is going to happen.
Life is a roller coaster.
Might as well put your hands up.
Go along for the ride.
Let's go.